Welcome everybody. Got myself a tripod now, so I'm gonna go around and cut all these walnut trees down. And I have my trusty saw that came in this little Gerber hatchet. It's kind of cool. It just goes right in the handle there. We need to cut all these walnuts down. For this one, obviously it's grown out of the side of my house there, and there's a couple others that are just kind of in the way that will block like walkways and things like that, so we'll get this thing cut down. The plan is to actually get a lot of those collected together, and then we have a spot where we're trying to add a lot of biomass to, so we'll kind of stack it all up over there. So let's get to the next tree. So we've actually, that was the one we just cut down. There's another one in there, but as you can see, I'm going to leave this one up because we're not trying to remove all walnuts from our land. We just don't want them in the way. And until this becomes maybe a greenhouse up the side of our house, we would like it to grow as much as it can, because really it might end up just creating shade for our house in the summer. So we're going to cut this one down because we want this area to be heavy on bushes. Here we have a honeyberry that we'd like to let grow. On top of that, we have a whole lot of raspberries and then that elderberry. But then at the same time, should I let that one grow another year? So we plan on training this apple to kind of create a corner, and they'll be a little bit later. I'm just trying to pick out which trees I should just get rid of right now and not let grow anymore. But definitely this one is a perfect candidate. This big tree here is one of the, oh sorry, I have a goji berry that's finally been growing crazy, and now I'm afraid it's not strong enough on its own. Sorry for the camera work here. I'm trying to see if I can, I don't know, is there some way I should support that, or I'm not sure. I thought goji berries were supposed to be like a hard bush. Well, it seems to be more of a vining thing. Unless it's not a goji berry at all. This one, I'm kind of doing the same deal. Anyways, back on topic. This is another one that we needed to cut down because we want this autumn olive to grow, and it's been growing like mad. It's even trying to outcompete this mulberry here. We need to get this thing cut down before it starts affecting the plants around it. Not only like the juglones itself, but just being in the way. Because I need to be able to walk through here, I hope. Clears things up quite a bit. So now my walkway can actually go through here. And I think I'm just gonna have to move this because it's in my way now, especially with this olive. There are two right next door to it, and I'm really not sure it's creating enough shade, and it seems to be helping out a lot of the plants in here. Like the strawberries are super happy, all this creeping Charlie and stuff. I think I'll just keep an eye on this, and maybe next year, if it just becomes too big of a problem, then I'll cut it down, and then maybe a year after that. We just don't want to make any too, because these plants are just coming up naturally. We're trying to let them shape how the forest kind of grows. So like if you ever notice on my walkways, I've like purposely dodged trees. And I had a mullein right there. That's an old mullein right in the center. And that thing was leafing out, so I like mowed around that. And I just kind of went around. So we're trying to have wide pathways, but we wanted the trees to give them a little bit of character. Yeah, another example is here. I had planted this cherry bush. Like, this is one of the first things I planted. And then when I went to go sheet mulch this area, or sheet mulch in this area, and I just thought, well, I'll just go over here and I'll plant a cherry bush, plant another one over here. And then since then I was like, I really need to make this a pathway. So last year I mowed this expanse so that cherry will kind of soften the edge of this walkway, and as well as this maple that's here. And that's kind of another interesting situation I have here is I have two larger maples and another one here, and another one, and another one behind that. Then I have a walnut, and another maple. So it's like, well, which one do I let live? Just wait another year to see which one does the best. Remove the walnut because I'm afraid of juglones. But at the same time, I have a persimmon that is growing. Obviously it's not in the best of shape, but it's resprung from the roots. And we'll see exactly what that variety turns out to be. But if that persimmon is here, it's going to take up all this space. Just trying to imagine it 4 or 5 years down the road. So my inclination is to let all of this right here grow and then tailor it to what that fruit bearing tree does. I think for the last final tree that I cut, some of you will remember a video that I'd done talking about this juglones and walnuts. And I'm going to keep this one because as it grows I'll have enough room. Same with this one here. I think it's a really good spot right on the corner of this entryway. So it could end up being shade for that entryway. And then there'll be a spruce there. And I think that'll be a nice combo. But this one, I really wanted it to stay, but it is a little bit too close. And I'm afraid it's going to mess up my outer pathway, which is something I just try to, unless it's a flower, I try to keep it out of the way. And I really don't want to have to maintain the roadway that much. I already have to do with this mulberry. So, and on top of that, I do have a cedar and a pine, and then I have 2 alders, it looks like right here. So there'll be plenty of other coverage. So I think I'll snip that one down, and that might actually be it for today. Yeah, that will be it for today, but I wanted to show you this These are staghorn sumac. I've seen sumacs always referred to as being poisonous, and it kind of bothers me because I actually planted these sumac, and I planted these right before the city had come down and mowed this part of the yard, and I was really excited that they came back. And what I want these to grow because they, just like the walnut, they grow really fast and they provide a lot of leaves, bring in a lot of sugars into the soil, but also because they grow so fast, I can use them. Let's say in 2 years I'll be able to use those as long, thick, like building posts and things like that for all sorts of different purposes. But they grow really fast and I can use them as a shade thing. For example, I used this honeysuckle. I don't know, I have a recent video where I planted pawpaws in the shade of honeysuckle, and that's actually something I could do next year with this sumac, because the pawpaws will get sun in the morning, which is not as intense as the evening sun, and they'll be shaded from the evening sun. So these sumacs, you can use them for a lot of different purposes. Actually, hold on, I wanted to show you where we're gonna pile all these branches. And again, thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your summer.